Okay, so what's the difference between on-page SEO and off-page SEO? How is reputation management relevant? Always the first question, and the answer is they're all important in their own different ways. So for off-page, have you ever gotten that question where all of a sudden somebody calls and says your hours of operation are wrong on the internet? They're rarely specific. Happens to everybody. This is when the computer algorithms on these platforms share information with each other, and even if it's wrong, they still share information, and what was right yesterday is wrong today. It happens all the time. It happens every single day. So off-page will lock stuff like that together and sync your presence to where we're syncing it to a profile that we say is correct. So this is not only keeping your online information accurate and up to date, we're also putting the correct information out to about 200 directories around the internet. The directories have everything, include everything from like Google, Yelp, TripAdvisor, to some of the weird ones you may not have heard of before, like YP.com, which is yellowpages.com. The importance of those is that once we have accurate, consistent information across the board in all these different sources, that's when Google takes notice, and Google will rank you accordingly. The AI searches of the future are going to have a very big impact on this, since AI searches don't want to take one platform's word for it. They want to see the answer on several different platforms. So they'll crawl all of these ancillary platforms to look for an answer that makes sense to give to the searcher. Off-page also includes adding your online presence to voice command software like Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, adding you to all the GPS systems in the new cars. So you're as spread out on as many different platforms and many different avenues of bringing in traffic as possible. On-page has to do with the code and the content inside your website. So the exact opposite. On-page has to do with structuring your website exactly in the way that Google wants to see it. So this is the correct meta description, correct page titles, correct content, correct concentration of keywords throughout your content. And it's the very intense and very complicated structure of how we present the website to Google in a way that's going to appeal to it the highest. On-page is a lot more complicated and time-consuming, and it does have to do with internal code, of course, so we'll need logins to your websites, and this is going to be, most of these changes are not visible. Some of them will be. So this is where you're going to have to be a little bit more involved in the process. All SEO processes, all of them are important. All of them are long-term plays, so keep that in mind. All of this stuff is going to take place, or the effects are going to take place over the course of 90 days, sometimes 180 days before you see results. I've seen results happen immediately, but it's rare. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for something and saying, oh, let's try it for 30 days and see what happens, do not waste your money. Nothing's going to happen. So as long as you're okay with a long-term play, not only is this a long-term commitment, but it's long-term results. So you're going to see the results of this ranking and getting you toward the top for the rest of your business life. So the reputation management part is another crucial piece of the pie. Anybody can respond to their own reviews online, but rarely do. Everybody has the same two excuses. Either I don't have time for it, or these guys on Yelp are full of BS anyway, so I don't want to give them the time of day. Wrong approach to have, because the public does care, the algorithms do care. So we respond to all of your reviews on your behalf. This is especially Google and Yelp are the two big ones. TripAdvisor has reviews, and now some of the online third-party delivery systems have reviews. The online third-party reservation systems, they have reviews, and we respond to all of these. More or less, the big one is thanking our fans, inviting them back in. That's the majority of it, which in the past, they would only get a response if there was a fire to put out and there was someone who's pissed. Then they would get a response. If you give someone a glowing review, they don't even say thank you. That's hopefully a thing in the past, and that is something that's unacceptable. We change all that. So any of the negative reviews that violate the terms and conditions that we can flag and get rid of, we will. Aside from that, it's explaining to the public what really happened. Hey, if we messed up, we own it, and we're not perfect. We messed up. We apologize. We hope you'll give us another shot. Aside from that, the one-star reviews that usually on Yelp that are just either blatant exaggerations or complete BS, those are the ones that we can respond and set the record straight. So we keep the emotion out of it. There's a very simple, correct set of ways, the way that you do this, to where we're not being defensive, we're not being emotional. We just say, hey, actually, that's not really what happened. This is what happened. And we're not really wanting the author of the review back in the door anyway in some cases, which is totally fine. But what we do want to do is explain what really happened to the public. So the public reading this, who's about to make a visit, can read, oh, that makes sense. That's actually, this guy's account of what happened is a little exaggerated. So what really happened is totally fine with me. They're going to give us a shot. AI searches of the future are going to be conversational and not keyword based like they are now. So instead of, you wouldn't go up to somebody and say, hey, restaurants near me. It doesn't make any sense to talk to a human. So we're going to talk to AI computers like we talk to humans. Hey, do you know of a sushi restaurant around me that has a great outdoor patio that allows dogs and within walking distance? That is the type of language and the type of searches that AI is going to use. All these approaches have to do with answering those questions, because a lot of times restaurants will not even be in the running to be an option for that answer, even if they do match the criteria completely, but they may not show up at all if they didn't answer those questions online. So AI searches are only as good as the information we give them. So all those type of questions are answered. We're as thorough as we can to appeal to as many AI computers as possible and show ourselves as an option to as many searches as we can. If you'd like any more information, or if you want a more in-depth explanation of this stuff, hit me up, Eric, ERIK, at barmarketingbasics.com. Thank you.